Uh, yes, but progress and such. I am in fact live. All right, so that's good, I think. Hey there, lonely girl, lonely girl. Let me. Yeah, that picture is something because it's, I don't know. Those are one of those things where I don't even realize like I'm in a photo at the time the photo's being taken. Um, but like all the funny ones kind of turn out that way from, yeah. All right, so do transparent background to that. Carvana. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right, so now I go over here, go to Carvana as I wait for people to potentially rejoin. I don't really anticipate everyone will, but you know, why not err on the side of optimism? You know, or we are what we are. Yes, yes. Come on.
Most.
Is it great? No. Is it awful? Also no. But could it be better? Basically, I'm trying to figure out if I can actually. Nah, it's a misrepresentation.
Successful platforms for purchasing
Am I
a used
mirrored?
car today, at least among publicly traded options. So we need to investigate this, right? What's the deal?
Morning, Matto. Hello, Matto, our fixer for RCR Australia, which just debuted on the main channel today with the 2017 Honda N-Box. And now, hopefully for Wednesday, I will have this Roman report ready. But for now, I should take chicken out of the fridge or out of the freezer so it can defrost in time for me to cook it. I am looking for the chicken. Hang on, gotta put this here while I struggle to get the chicken out of the freezer. Oh. All right, time for you to defrost. There's gotta be something I can put this in which to thaw. Pouring this pink Toyota coolant in my car makes it feel like I'm giving my car a blood transfusion. Ha! Nice. Waiting for this water to get hot. Should really put away dishes. I'm not going to do that. Hey there, lonely girl. Come on, water. I need you to be scalding hot. Wound me. There we go. Stand it high. All right. So now I have returned to things. Whole Roman's Maze fan. Let's see. All right, time to drive home, so I'm going to hop off here. It was great dropping in. Thank you for coming, Eric. Regular water reviews. Race to the chicken. Any hard times? Hunter asks. Any hard times writing an episode because opinions on a car contrasted starkly? I agree with a lot of Brian's takes, but not his opinion on Mazda. All right, so the only time that I can really remember that happening, well, recently it was the Nissan Rogue. I actually really like that car, which I wasn't expecting to. It's weird to think about because, like, I don't like Nissan. I really don't like anything they make. The Murano is not a good car. The Sentra is not a good car. The Altima is not a good car. All of their good cars are like the performance stuff from like 30 years ago. And so I was not expecting to like the Rogue. I really did like the Rogue. Brian hates the Rogue. It overtook the Jetta Wolfsburg as his most hated car on RCR. Which that was the other one where opinions starkly misaligned. I liked the Wolfsburg, but I admitted then that it was for sentimental reasons because my godfather had one and I spent a lot of my childhood in that car, and it's fine. Like at worst, for me, it's fine. It's not something worthy of that level of derision. But I mean, for the most part, we mostly just align pretty well. Like in general sense, we do align pretty well. And I know you weren't trying to stir the pot. I mean, he would tell you like we have plenty of differences of opinion, but ultimately, if it's a Brian video, I would defer more to his opinion. Here's the thing. Yes, I write half of the weekly scripts. Like every like Monday video, it's like half me, half Brian. But the driving impressions are 100% Brian. Because sometimes I don't drive the car for various reasons, but sometimes also, I'm not going to be able to talk about it as with the amount of nuance that Brian can, especially if the writing that I'm doing, I'm trying to match to his voice. So I think it's something that works out pretty well in that really I can just provide specs, history, and whatever jokes I can think up. And I don't have to worry too much about giving like an opinion per se. But if it's race to the bottom, well, like 100% of that script is me. So it's just whatever I want to say, however I want to say it, and however long I want to make it. So it's all just, figuring what works best for the video we're trying to make. And that's kind of why we film a lot of the footage that we do, because we don't know how long each video is going to be until we actually write it. And, sometimes we just don't want to be in a position where we write more than we have footage to show. So, when we have the freedom to write as much as we want, it gives us the freedom to also go short, so that we don't feel like we have to overspeak and overemphasize everything and just be redundant. So it's nice. It is very nice. I feel the same about Nissan, but love my 2010s Frontier. That's an heirloom from my grandpa. I think we all, even when we have those really despised automakers that we sort of, they might have one or two cars in there that we're a little bit softer on just because of our past, some sort of memory or nostalgia. Dramatic lighting makes it seem so important. Well, there you go. I had a TikTok. I guess it would count as like micro viral or whatever the smallest level of virality is, because I think it's at like 142,000 views. Where it was kind of this lighting, but it was me complaining about high beams on a truck behind me. because I was sitting in traffic, like slow moving, like snail pace, little bit every like 2 minutes traffic. So I just took out my phone because the guy was like beaming his brights directly in on me. And it was completely mad that it was madness that I was having trouble seeing in front of me because of lighting behind me. And a lot of people, reposted the TikTok, and a lot of the comments, half of them had to do with the fact that I misused the term heat death of the universe, because I figured like heat death means like, oh, well, okay, the universe is going to have one last bright, brilliant flash and then it'll all be over. But that's actually not the case. It's just very cold and very dark. And there was part of me that was like, before I hit post, I'm like, Nick, do you really want to use this phrase? Like this phrase? Maybe you should look it up. I'm like, nah, it'll be fine. But yeah. Uh, yeah, exactly, Matto. Like he came out exactly so people could witness him. Rogue is a horrible name for that vehicle. Going rogue isn't making a mid-size crossover like everyone else. I mean, it's kind of the same naming convention behind Rubicon. It's the thing that, like, wasn't it the river that Caesar crossed that essentially marked the point of no return in his campaign? Um, Hi, Roman. This is an odd question, but do you have a preferred format of engine? Like, even if it's just based on video games? I do not, believe it or not. I know there are some people who would say that, you know, V8 you really can't go wrong with, but the idea of preferring anything is always strange to me, just because, again, this is partially why Race to the Bottom exists, is can I find something that even I won't like? Because I like everything. The idea of having preferences is kind of alien to me, just because it implies that there are merits that merit consideration over others. And I understand not everything is on an even playing field, but I also don't know what preferences I'm going to have tomorrow or the day after that, Maybe something that I liked one day I would hate another day. I'm not entirely sure, but which leads into Retro Wolf's question here. And thank you for the question, Hourly B. But it's, hey, Roman, what was the worst car you've ever owned or driven? I mean, I owned a Kia Rio with no power steering, no head unit, a really dry, clunky clutch. It was a manual transmission. And yet, while it was a bad car, from an objective standpoint, I did enjoy driving it because it was my first true like beater that I'm beating on it. It doesn't matter what I do, because even if I, grenade this thing, it doesn't make a difference, because it's not here to do anything for me other than to just be a beater for me to get better at manual on. And I did get better at it. But by the same token, it wasn't fun necessarily. It wasn't really like this exciting car. And mechanically, it was really rough. It was a 2008 model. And yeah, I was getting some pretty good arm workouts from the lack of, power assistance. But I don't know. That's fine generally. Dear Strong Bad, what's the best thing you've ever seen, done, or eaten? Yeah. Different engines for different purposes. Yes, indeed. You should watch Fish Tank. Hello, bro. Where are you from, bro? Please tell me. Love you. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm from southeastern Pennsylvania, born and raised. And yeah, that's just generally, where I've always been and where I'll probably always be. Make way for me. I just love the make way for me, like, running gag. Uh, there's a deer outside my window eating grass. I swear, I don't know what's happening now, but like it feels like the deer in my area have less of a preservational instinct than at any point that I can remember. It feels like they have 0% interest in keeping themselves alive for any length of time whatsoever. And I'm really thirsty, so I'm going to go get a water from the fridge. Be right back. I'm going to keep talking, and hopefully you can hear me this way. And if you can't, whatever, but I'm sure you'll be okay. is fine. My control is, as they say, total. Yes. Yes. Let's see. Yes, I have returned. I have returned. I got myself a Waterloo. Wait, can't even see it there. It is a summerberry. So, okay. Ah, summerberry indeed. My roommate went to Starbucks, or rather, I went to Starbucks for my roommate. And, well, okay, I went to Starbucks for me because I had a gift card, and I still had a lot of money on the gift card for my birthday. My mom got me $100 Starbucks gift card for my birthday, so I've been having a lot of free coffee. But anyway, she is away for a few days, so I'm helping myself to this coffee that, well, I guess technically my mother paid for. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Well, just got a 2025 Elantra N. Absolutely love it. Learning to drive manual on it, trying not to blow it up. Isn't that the life? I mean, also, it's the challenge of manuals for people who aren't so inclined. Not from jump, anyway. Yes, free coffee is indeed the best coffee. Very much so. So let's see. Oh, yes, I'm doing my, let's see how this goes.
For today, at least among publicly traded.
I've got to find a different video to use there because the logo does not pop.
Traded options.
All right. No. Okay, that's good enough. That is good enough, Nick.
So we need to investigate this, right? What's the deal? Is this a purely speculative growth, or has the company truly built itself a new path forward? Is this a suspicious, impractical amount of growth, or is it perfectly explained by the factors surrounding the used car market today?
I am long-winded while talking about Carvana because I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, why is this happening? Why is Carvana suddenly successful after nearly going bankrupt 2 years ago? Because that's really, like, they were really close to being, like, done for. And yet they managed to pull it out. Like, they were making it happen. And it's the type of comeback story that I feel most people would root for if it were anybody else but Carvana, you know?
How did a company that was on the verge of bankruptcy less than 2 years ago suddenly change their fortunes entirely?
How much battery
Well, let's
do I
break
have?
out the magnifying glasses and the luminol, because we're going to have ourselves an investigation. It's the end of the month, and you know precisely what it's time for.
Yes. Hit it. Hit it indeed. Pull in the audio file, Nick.
Hit it.
All right. All right. Where is the audio file? All right. That's the video one that I use for the intro. Get rid of the audio for that. Why? Why? All right, here we go. Boom. Delete the audio. Bring in the theme song. Oh, for crying out loud, don't be like that. This is what editing is like. It's very frustrating for no discernible reason, but for plenty of reward, potentially. So let's see.
Roman report at the end of the month, and I make what I want when I feel like discussing cars.
There we go. Okay. Much better. Nick's real surname is Valentine. Nick Valentine is kind of a badass name. At Weatherspoons, you pay £1.04 for an empty cup and get free refills for anything all day. That sounds fantastic. Big fan of the channel, and your songs on the video are awesome. Thank you so much, Chocolate Galaxy. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Seth, for saying that as well. I was able to purchase my 2022 BRZ because Carvana bought my previous shitbox for a 4K profit. Well, there you go. Roman Report is a banger. And it's literally just a parody of a Gary Newman song that I'm just like, I need a theme song for this. And literally the first thing that came to my mind was just like, well, I mean, I plan on making these videos at the end of the month, so just fuck it. Roman Report at the end of the month. And probably for like next month, I'll do like Roman Report for the end of the year, and I'm happy you're here. Like that kind of sing-songy thing. But the whole gag with Roman Report is that every title image is increasingly ridiculous, so that, you know, there's really no reason for any of it to go. Like in this month, I'm getting choked out by Sergeant Slaughter from when I went to New York Comic Con a few years ago, and he put me in the Cobra Clutch. Devastating finisher. And he really cinched that bad boy in. Scale up. Scale up. Scale up. Or is it going to slide in? Or is it just going to be scale to full? Yeah, okay. Let's go with that.
Roman Report at the end of the month, and I make what I want when I feel like discussing cars.
So, yeah, okay, there, that works. Roman just sitting in a void is my favorite live stream. Well, hey, there you go. I am indeed sitting in this void. Hope your nephew got some of the wax snacks he found in Australia. Yeah, actually, I brought him back some chocolates. A roll of, he likes cheesecake, so I brought him a roll of New York cheesecake double stuffed Oreos, because for whatever reason we don't get those here, and I don't know why. I also meant to bring back pods because we don't get those here either. So just imagine Tide Pods, but they're like Twix or Mars bar flavored or whatever, Snickers. Wow, I guess they really are kind of Tide Pods. So, yeah, but I wonder if that's how long they've been around, and maybe that's why they created them. Oh, wait, no, do the thing where you save 10. There, okay, it's saved. Let's fucking go. So yeah, let's see. Any other interesting things to announce and discuss? You know what? Let's go on. Let's go on Twitter. See what's going on. Ugh. Yeah. Man, I just find everything on the internet vaguely exhausting. Like, isn't the universe just kind of exhausting in its own way? Sorry, I don't want this to be a defeatist podcast. All right, so What do you guys think about Carvana in reality? Like your actual thoughts on it as a platform? Because, I mean, the video's already, the narrative's already done, right? But, oh, there we go. Opinion on brands which just aren't in America. Dacia, Citroen. I would imagine there's a good reason why they're not here, because they generally don't sell. I can't say that I have much in the way of experience with those brands in particular. Uh, Generally, what I find is that America doesn't really have the infrastructure to sustain foreign brands to a certain level. I mean, yes, foreign brands like, your Volkswagens, your Volvos, your Toyotas, your Hondas, your Hyundais, your Kias, like, sure, but Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Jaguar, they're kind of, I don't know. I don't think that this is the right place for those brands, because America tends to have this combative reaction to foreign volume performance automakers, to where only the very wealthy are really going to go for them, and they're just going to be resented by everyone else. But whatever. Roman, what kind of keyboard are you using? I don't actually know. My roommate gave this to me when the keyboard on my laptop died. And I've since gotten a specific writing laptop, but it's a Chromebook, so I don't have any of my editing software on there. So this is still my editing laptop. But it does light up. I can turn off the lights, but I don't know. I kind of like the lights. So does my 2-year-old niece. Well, it's not 2 yet, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Fiat 500 sales have cratered completely. And Carvana, okay to sell, never buy. See, and selling is the thing that, like, I don't actually know anything about in terms of Carvana, because I didn't research it for the video, because it's entirely about buying from them and trying to figure out what it is that they did or didn't do that made them so successful in the past year or so. And a lot has changed, and I don't know to what extent it is that market forces are correcting for the changes that they made back in 2023 that help them to thrive now, or if there is a specific cause. And so I've conducted an investigation to try and figure out, these are the possible excuses for why Carvana is suddenly doing well, and we need to pick one to kind of explain it. So yeah, I don't know much about Carvana. A buddy of mine sold them a super clapped out Cobalt for like $800 or something. As far as I know, he never had any problems with them. Well, that's good. That's very good. A family friend made out like a bandit with his 2019 Camry, enough so he could pick up a 2023 Camry from Hertz. They seem decent. It's funny in the sense that, Carvana, fantastic theory, horrific execution. That's the thing of, like, as I'm going through, I'm finding, I anticipated to find a lot more vehement reaction, right? I figured there would be people furious at Carvana, saying it's like the biggest scam in the world, or people just saying, I don't see the point, just something negative. But what I'm seeing is, like, yes, you do get some of that, but you don't really get middle ground either. If it's not, I hate Carvana, it's Carvana was great for me, I had a great experience, this, that, or the other. I don't really see these middle ground things of, well, they sold me a car and it didn't run that great, but it didn't cost that much, and XYZ, So I don't know. I find all of that very interesting in its own way. And I'm realizing that because I made this video as an investigation into Carvana's sudden financial health, it's not really about whether Carvana is good or not. And I'm now realizing that. So I have to pick a thumbnail and a title that reflects this while also drawing in viewership. And I realize that the Roman reports that tend to do better are ones in which I'm making a declarative statement about the state of something. You know, Stellantis is in big trouble. The sedan market is cooked. So maybe I just say like Carvana is crushing it somehow. Because the other thing is the title kind of has to be short, like 4 to 5 words, excluding the parenthetical the Roman report. So whatever. Hey, channel name here. Thank you so much. Let me hit like. Let me give the heart thingy. Thanks for the Roman report and Race to the Bottom. I always find your authenticity refreshing. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. And hey, congrats on your third live stream, or your third super chat on a live stream. But yes, I really appreciate it. And I had not planned on making the Roman report a regular thing until after the first one. I was like, I actually really enjoy this. I think I'm going to keep doing it. And yeah, so that's kind of what's going on now. I'm continuing to make them, and I plan on continuing to make them for as long and as often as possible. But as it stands right now, I just, the great thing about the Roman report is because unlike RCR stories, which is very historical, the Roman report is sort of about current events, and there will always be current events to kind of leap off of. So I'm not searching for a topic. Let's see. Sorry, I have to send a business-related email real quick. All right, send. Riveting, I know. Roman report, feel topical without being commercial, if that makes sense. I like it because of that. No, I appreciate that. I really do. What kind of switches does your keyboard have? I mean, it's just a regular QWERTY keyboard. I mean, there's nothing really special about it, other than that my roommate gave it to me, my best friend, and it belonged to a loved one of hers who I believe is no longer with us. So I'm taking very good care of it. And I like the fact that it has that hard, punchy sound with the keys. But yeah. Am I doing ASMR now? I mean, yeah. As for the lack of new car penetration phrasing, most of us can't go for something new outright, so we stick to the used options. Until we get rid of the chicken tax and fix the stupid emissions stuff, we're SOL. You are not wrong. And I imagine it's true of very many other people in the same circumstance, because you're almost disincentivized from trying to buy a car outright. You know, you're incentivized to finance and or to like hold your purchase, to wait on it. It just doesn't make sense. Your songs got me through some hard times in the early RCR era in particular. Thank you for everything you do. And Brian, too. Thank you, Inchworm, for saying that. And I'm proud that I was able to help you in any way, big or small. I mean, this goes back to like what I was talking about in the last stream, but I always had this difficulty truly hearing compliments because it would go to war with the internal narrative that I built for myself, which was just that I didn't matter. And the things I didn't matter. And so I just want you to know how much that means to me, because it's nobody's responsibility to give me value, to enforce any type of value judgment on me. It's just that I wish that I could feel that in an innate way to myself, and I don't always. And so to just read those things and to know that like maybe some of the things I do or have done mattered to people at some point, like that means a lot to me. But yeah, let's see. Internal combustion garage. What do you think of all the dumbass K-truck laws in the US? It's for me, like in a perfect world, you wouldn't have to regulate imports and do all this like bureaucratic nonsense. Like everything would be cross compatible between countries and everything, you wouldn't. But there's also the logistical reality of like, no matter what it is, where it's from, it has to be able to conform to the standards and laws of the place into which the import vehicle is being imported. And so, yeah, I admittedly, I don't know enough about the K car laws right now, but I gotta believe that there's some rationale for why that this is all the way that it is, you know. James Murphy. Most people who claim to need a pickup truck would probably be just fine with a Ford Maverick or a Hyundai Santa Cruz. I mean, probably. Taking 2 trash cans to the dump doesn't require a towing package and a 6-foot bed. Mr. Headcrab. Trucks seem to have turned into emotional support vehicles. When someone rolls up in a showroom fresh lifted Silverado bigger than my E350 Econoline van, it seems a bit overkill for a grocery run. Fun story. I had an experience today where I was driving to go do errands. It's in a very, like, it's not a money neighborhood, but it's not a no money neighborhood. It's just like perfectly middle class. Saw a Cybertruck, and it's like the one time where I didn't really do a double take. I mean, I've seen plenty of them out in public, but this is the first time where I realized that I've seen enough of them for their appearance to almost seem normal to me, even as the appearance does seem comical and out of place still. I can't get behind the notion of a Cybertruck as anything other than a novelty that's meant to cause people to look at you as someone who is perhaps more important than they are. That because I have wealth, that it is now conferred upon me the status of authority, importance. It's very oligarchical in that way, but I still think they're the most ridiculous vehicles on the road. And I understand. I've spent years saying I wish car designs were different. I wish not everything looked the same. And now we finally have something that looks different. But I mean, I don't know. It's just, I couldn't imagine driving one and not being embarrassed, it just feels meh, Roman, what are your thoughts on the BSA Aerial 3? That's a moped, right? I mean, I've never really seen one in person. I like mopeds though. One of my earliest memories with me and Brian was he had a moped, and I think he was riding it because his car was in the shop or his bike was in the shop, something like that. And uh, he was taking me to an open mic night at a bar in downtown Reading. And so I had my guitar on my back, and then I'm like hugging Brian's waist. This is like 14 years ago. One of the first times we ever hung out. And I just have my waist around it, or my arm around this guy's waist that I've known for maybe like 3 months. And he's taking me to the Speckled Hen in West or in Reading. And yeah, sure enough, we were just riding this like powder blue moped, and I actually really enjoyed it. Like I think mopeds are fun in their own way, but I mean, Ariel 3. Let me see. BSA Ariel 3. The Ariel 3 was a tricycle moped produced by the BSA factory in the UK. The Ariel 3 was a sales flop whose £2 million investment or development cost contributed significantly to the demise of BSA. Even the Ariel 3's promotion was ill-conceived, the sales slogan being, "Here it is, whatever it is." Oh, that's delightful. Hot diggity half damn. But yeah, Cybertruck is small PP energy, but you're a tech bra. Lifted Bro Dozer is small PP energy, but you work for your dad's construction company. I swear, like some of the RCR viewers are funnier than me. More updates from people. But yeah, the Cybertruck was interesting until the build quality was released and the whole elongated muskrat playing the Uno card. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of phony Stark, and I just find his entire presence annoying in society, and the fact that we're stuck with him now in perpetuity. Not that we weren't going to be, no matter what happens in the world. Like, he's here and he's not going anywhere, and he's going to be prominent member of human society forever. I just we keep making the worst people famous. Although I can't even say that we're doing that. Like, he made himself famous, but and good on him, but I don't like the guy. I guess I can in some ways respect choosing to fund things that are progressive in, like SpaceX and, Tesla helping to bring EVs into wider acceptance. But I just feel like he's such I think if he could get all the nutrient density that he required in order to live simply from drinking his own piss, that he would happily do that for the rest of his days. I mean, there's a realistic possibility that he might be the reason that people make it to Mars. Maybe not him specifically, but just like his investment in certain technologies and processes. But I don't know. I find him to be so anathema to the notion of what decency and goodness is that I just can't like the guy. I just find him exhausting. I find everything about what he does and how he does it exhausting. And worst of all, I find his followers exhausting too, because why are you caping so hard for a guy who's, has a net worth beyond anything that 8 generations of a single family could probably produce in all their lifetimes put together? And yeah, he's basically Hank Scorpio. Thank you, Malik. Although Hank Scorpio is funny, I don't find Elon Musk funny. I find him just a wearying, soul diminishing, demoralizing presence. All right, phone is at 20%, and then I would have to plug it back in, and I don't know how great an idea that is. So, yes. Did you hear that Chris Chan, 1, got a girlfriend, and 2, got that girlfriend pregnant? Oh, dear Lord. That is... All right, going to the Chris Chan subreddit. Top of the month. I don't know why I'm have any sort of investment in this individual, because I don't. I have investment in Geno Samuel's documentary on this individual. But I don't know. I think there was a I don't know. Speaking of Geno Samuel, right? So I don't think I've ever cried for a YouTube video before, right? But the closest that I ever came was this year. Geno Samuel posted an April Fool's video that was a hypothetical finale for their like 80-part documentary on Chris Chan. And it presupposed a happy ending for Chris, where Christine basically comes to a realization, gets help, finds a partner, and becomes happy and healthy and reflective. And I think that video is unlisted now, but I think Geno got someone to do an AI recreation of Christine's voice. And it was basically showing the aftermath of recovery and what it is to survive being an internet lolcow. And finding some measure of redemption, you know? And I don't remember if this was before or after the mother thing came out, but I just felt so moved by the idea that even the most troubled of us can turn it around. Now, of course, get brought back down to reality when you remember, like, oh yeah, this is April Fool's, this isn't actually happening. But I was shocked by how moved I was. Like, I was not expecting that to resonate the way that it did. Finally finished my coffee at 5 p.m. so I can say goodnight to decent bedtime. But then I have to finish editing this video. And I barely even started. And that's okay, because it shouldn't take so long, he said, feeling the desperation sink in. So, yeah. But I also realized, like, how easy it would have been for me to become a Chris Chan-like figure, not like Christine did, but like the type of figure that gets exploited by the internet because they don't have the skills to be on the internet. I was lucky in that the most that I could do online as a teenager was AOL Instant Messenger. There was nothing for me to really do. I did run a site for like my friend fiction. Oh, thank you, James. Have a great rest of your night. We're not currently in Australia. We got back 2 weeks ago, ish, and but now the RCR Australia videos are starting to go up on the main channel, beginning today with the 2017 Honda N-Box, and yeah, been very, very, I don't know, happy with that trip and how it all turned out. So yeah. This phone is probably going to give me another 15 minutes of battery, and once I have to plug it in, it will not remain upright. So I'll probably have to call it there. But get it all in. You got 15 minutes, but I'm still editing this Carvana video for Roman Report.
This month's story comes as a result of Carvana's third quarter earnings report from October 30th.
Okay, let me not start it with that clip. If I were to do this and move it over here, then I could move this, prop your phone up with something on each side. Well, the idea is that because the charger's like at the bottom, it's just, and then it's messing with the charge port in a very weird and dumb way. Let me see. Take me to Pexels, take me to earnings. Earnings report. Let's go with that. Third quarter earnings. Okay. Get it all in. That will only take it 2 minutes. Yeah, you can charge it without it falling over. All right, so let's see. I am going to, for the sake of argument, Strugs. I'm struggling. There we go. All right. Let's plug this in and prop something alongside of it. Yes, I could. If I were me, what would I use? Get this here lamp. Fudge. Let me get this here lamp and mic stand. Knock, knock. Who's there? How about doing what I say? There we go. That seems like it's kind of working. Let's see. Earnings. Show me stonks. Because we are talking Carvana. See, that's what half of my editing is trying to find stock footage for the idea that I'm trying to express, you know? So stocks. There we go. Do what I say, not what I do. There we go. All right. Now go to videos for stocks. All right. Now show me one that does not show failing stocks. Okay, there we go. That's better. Possibly. Gamol. And go with that. Paste. Because I have to give them all credit, or else I'm not doing the thing right. So, yes. But yeah. What else do you guys want to talk about? Because you are what keeps everything going. When he said, show me, my mind immediately went to the money. When, I hope that works if it does pay me £5. But But let's see. All right, Carvana. I feel like I could probably find a better, more suitable image. Earnings report. Earnings. See, I need it to be generic. This thing is giving actual numbers, so I don't know. Here, this one's better. Let's see. Go with that. Favorite video game? Final Fantasy VII. I got a materia tattoo on here. Healing, support, and luck. So there we go. It was kind of spontaneous. I went to a tattoo convention. I wanted to do something for myself because I was in a very sort of unhealthy period. And I don't know, made me feel better. So, but I also understand that, like, I budgeted a feel better moment into my budget so as not to make it like a routine thing. But yeah, because I do watch a lot of Caleb Hammer, and which reminds me, there is a new Caleb Hammer out that I got to check out. But yeah. Oh snap! I still have that chicken defrosting in there. I should probably get started on dinner soon. But let's see. It's 5:17 now. I'll go till 5:30. Have I played the new version Reba? Absolutely. I made sure that I had time blocked off from work in order to do it because that was like Christmas for me when that came out, and I have rarely been as happy as I was getting to experience the overworld map in high definition, fully remade. It was just incredible. That's my game of the year. Although, granted, it's not like I've played anything else. The only other thing that I've played is Car Mechanic Simulator. So, yeah. And I played Forza at Matto's house and completely, bombed on the on the Bathurst course. That was way hard. I'm already not good at that game, and I was somehow even worse than I already knew I would be. So that's fun. That's just great, as is tradition. So yes, but let's see. Anything else? Do 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 do. All right, so oh, that's sweet of you, Mr. Head Crab. Matto did take excellent care of us over there. I mean, took me to picked me up from Melbourne Central, showed us around various haunts, with his buddy Dave. It was great. I really did enjoy everything about it. Fiat 131 Abarth. I'm not very much of a Fiat guy. I don't really like them. In my experience, they seem kind of it's like being simultaneously over-engineered and under-engineered. Feels like you're both trying and you're not. You're both coasting and you're aspirational. Let me make sure I'm talking about the right one even. Yeah, I mean, I've never driven one, and I'm sure I would enjoy it if I did, but there's something about it that seems generally incompatible with American sensibilities. I'm sure it's great. I mean, the more I look at it, the more I want to try it. I mean, aesthetically, it's different. This is the kind of thing that I talk about when I say I wish cars looked different, because this almost looks like a weird sort of cross between a European sedan and like a Fox body Mustang or something, from a distance anyway. But yeah. Oh, especially Nick. Well, I appreciate that, Matto. You mean a lot. I mean, it's been very important to. I think the Australia trip, and having Matto around and being around him and being around other like Australians really helped heal a part of me that needed healing. Um, I mean, I know that healing isn't linear, but I also understand that in order to heal, you also have to want to. And there are aspects of my mindset that are just so overwhelmingly weighed down by, I don't know, just old trauma that I give too much mental real estate to. So I want to be better about that and kinder to myself. He's Bluey real over there. I didn't see any Bluey. Oh wait, no, that's not true. He was on the chocolate, but it was okay chocolate. But then it wasn't intended like that would be the real Australian chocolate. So once I got me some of that, man, I'll tell you what, that like chocolate wallaby in a little like caramello wrapper, sensational, sensational. Um, Australia is more than just Bluey, Matto, and Mad Max. There's also Dank Pods and that drain addict guy. True story. Um, but yeah, now I think all the coffee's starting to hit me at once. And uh, yes, very yes. Um, ooh, and now I'm cold on the inside, as one is and tends to be. So don't forget Mighty Car Mods, but I haven't watched them in a while. Uh, and Primitive Tech. Well, I think that's going to do it for me. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly enjoyed hanging out with y'all. Thanks for keeping me company here. Uh, I do have to finish editing this video, and I should probably start video or dinner soon. But what do I think about the bonnet bra? I like them in a weird way. They shouldn't be fashionable, and yet I kind of think they're all right. I guess it depends on the car. I don't really like them on Corvettes or anything, but I've seen them on other cars where they made more sense. I'm trying to find a really good example of one. Um, huh. Like they kind of work on a Golf or like a, you know. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, um, this was lots of fun. Hope you have a great week. We'll eventually send you an email about Race of the Bottom Contender. Willing to drive to PA. Terrific. Terrific. Uh, so I'll look forward to that, Seth, and take it easy, Hunter. And yeah, take it easy, all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. New Roman report on Wednesday. 2024 RCR Christmas song releases on Friday to all streaming platforms. And I don't know. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday to those who celebrate, and to everyone else. Have a great rest of your week. I appreciate you. And yeah, I appreciate you. How do I end the stream?